Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and here I am just finishing this carpet off. Go back to the previous video. You see how much, I guess it was cat hair, fur, I was pulling out of this carpet. It was just incredible. So normally what we do, of course, is when I do a carpet for residential anyway, I almost always will do pre-vacuuming is standard operating procedure, as well as in most cases a post-vacuuming, primarily to set the pile, because as the rotary machine goes over the pile of the carpet, it will lift and separate the pile, and depending on what direction you're going last, it will tend to be leaning in that direction. But so that's why I almost always will post-vacuum, and sometimes actually use a grooming tool, but normally I prefer to vacuum, partly because I'll be able to pull up some particulates that might have been dislodged, and in this case, although I did pre-vacuum very well, I was pulling out, and by the way, my customer had also pre-vacuumed before I got here, and yet I was pulling an incredible amount of cat fur out of this carpet. It was literally blowing around clumps of it. So and I guess you'll never get everything out of the carpet anyway, but so this is just an additional step that is to groom and lift the pile. As you can see, it's doing that, but also some of that cat fur that it was pulling out, it'll be pulling that up as well and removing it from the carpet. So I expect that this job, which is only about just over 300 square feet, I bet my vacuum bag is going to be full. It was already about half full when I first vacuumed, and then I almost filled up my shark on the steps, and there's only about 10 of them. Not very many steps in this particular house. Not the normal number anyway. This carpet's about 10 years old. I know that. I've been in this house about 10 years ago. I mentioned that in the previous video. But anyway, you can see the pile is really lifting, and we've got much more definition to the yarn. And it is quite significantly flattened in the high traffic areas. This isn't a particularly great wearing carpet. It's a softer carpet. It's not that it isn't a good carpet, it's just the softer the pile, typically the faster it's going to wear. That's just the nature of the carpet. But you can see the yarn is looking good. It'll flatten again pretty quickly too. But right now it's lifting. Not flattened from the cleaning, lifted from the cleaning. Carpet looks renewed, and that's what we're trying to do, obviously. And of course, it's almost dry, not quite dry, almost already. It's a little bit damper than I normally have a carpet because I use the brush. It typically will leave the carpet a little bit wetter, but that's not a problem. It's just slightly damp. And one of the things that's happening is that because I'm using stabilized ClO2 in my mix, that is an anti-allergen as well as an effective deodorizer. So that's an important thing when you're dealing with a situation where there's so much animal hair on the carpet. You almost always need to have something in your cleaning that's going to address any odor issues, because almost always you find there will be an odor if you don't have something to counteract that. And so that's why, one of the reasons why I have the stabilized ClO2 in my mix. Plus it's an anti-allergen. But you do want to try to remove as much of the actual source of the allergen or the odor as you can, which is where the cleaning comes in. And between the initial step with the brush, which pulled out a tremendous amount of cat hair, even though I had vacuumed it very thoroughly, and my customer had already vacuumed it as well, still I'm pulling out bags of hair, which is really quite, I guess, a little bit shocking when you see that. But and I did already go around just before I did this part, what I'm doing right now. I already went around and did all the edges and corners and made sure I got all that fur picked up from the edges and corners that was being kicked up. From the brush. It was literally getting thrown up against the baseboards as I was cleaning, even though I was cleaning right along the edge of the baseboard. Because the brush will actually contact the baseboard as I go along, as well as the green stripe pad I was using. The light doesn't work in here in case you're wondering why I'm in the dark. I guess bulb burned out or something. Very, very worn right here on the landing. You know, I seem to recall that this, when I was here 10 years ago, this carpet was already looking pretty worn. So she thinks the carpet's about 10 years old or so, but I think it's got to be at least 15 years old. It could be 20 years old. Or even more for that matter. She didn't know it was here when she got here. This light got on earlier, but I don't know what the remote control is, so oh well. When I'm cleaning with my rotary, of course I have the light on it, so I was able to see very clearly what was happening, and there were no stains in these rooms. Only found one actual spot on this whole carpet, which is a bit surprising. being it's pretty old. There's some weird damage going on here. I'm not sure what that's all about, but she pointed that out to me. I think this was her son's room. He did something there, messed up the carpet. Got a nice long cord, this vacuum, which is nice. The Kirby's power cord is ridiculously short. Kind of annoying, actually. That looks pretty good. Piles all standing up. Hope it's all refreshed. Very, very worn right here. There's no pile definition to restore here. Alright, well, let's have a look. Kind of curious to see what the bag looks like. This was an empty bag when I started. About that much. That's 2/3 of the way full. Okay, I'll let you go. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.